Is a tiny Washington elf coming for your POTCOIN? What's the deal with Bittrex taking my $10? Is it becoming elitist? And on Terra, will taxation of crypto unite fiat fanatics and subversives? And more as we follow three crypt dudes on their journey to the moon. This is Moon Talk.
At the time of recording, the top market capitalizations in the cryptocurrency universe are Bitcoin at a price of $16,301.70, Ripple at $3.39, Ethereum at $1,135.72, Bitcoin Cash at $2,850.61, Cardano at $1.02, NEM at $1.78, Litecoin at $284.64, Stellar at 69.1 cents, IOTA at $4.15, Dash at $1,295.82.
So I want to talk about a certain kind of coin that's very interesting for someone like me, or us, who lives in Portland. And that coin is POTCOIN. All right, so let's talk about POTCOIN. Let's talk about POTCOIN. All right, now that I have partaken in this illegal marijuana, I chose for the $10 challenge, the race to 100. To invest my $10 into POTCOIN. And this is because, well, I like pot. I live in Portland, Oregon, where marijuana is legal. And another reason that I'm really excited about this is because the little elf in Washington just this past week wants to take the weed away.
Oh, man. Is he going to start raiding dispensaries? Is that what's going to happen?
Well, that's, he rolled back the Obama era. I'm sure you guys heard and read all about it.
I mean, a little bit. Like,
tell me what's going on.
So Jeff Sessions nixed the law, which was a hands-off policy, essentially saying, hey, Obama, this is Obama era, said, hey, we respect states' rights. If a populist state is like, we all want to smoke weed, we legalized it, the federal government has no right to come in and say, actually, state rights.
Did you say the Federal Reich?
The federal right. I think I said the federal right, but that's much more, appropriate. But no, Jeff Sessions essentially nixed that law, saying actually the federal government can enforce their laws in states that are, part of the United States. And so Jeff Sessions has come for your POTCOIN.
I think it's so interesting how people like Jeff Sessions on the right are all about states' rights until it comes to pot, and they're like, no, we're not for states' rights.
No, just for the slavery.
Just the slavery part of it.
It's just whatever partisan issue it is. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoy the idea of POTCOIN because living in a state where weed is legal, it's such a weird battle buying weed at the dispensary,
right?
Because of the whole credit card thing. If the credit card companies don't, or the banks, I guess, don't help these dispensaries get started, we have to pay $3 fees every time we buy weed.
Yeah. Anybody who hasn't been to a dispensary, when you go to the ATM, $3 minimum to get a cash.
You got to be ready with your cash.
You got to be ready with cash. And the thing is, that's the reason that I wanted to do POTCOIN was because this could, the reason POTCOIN came into existence back in 2014 was only because of this reality of POTCOIN, or of Pot in America, which is the federal government can't, federal banks can't take pot money,
right?
Because it's gonna be it breaks the law. It's you can't get you can't illegally give money to a bank if you're an illegal abortion clinic.
I've asked at dispensaries why they don't take Bitcoin and stuff, and some of them are like, well, we're just afraid of the tax implications because they're already on thin ice with taxes.
True.
And so, I mean, they don't want to do anything that makes it look like they're doing something illegal. So what I want to see for something like POTCOIN is the dispensaries have to trust it, and it has to actually be a very transparent and taxable coin because that's such an important part of the marijuana industry, the legal marijuana industry, is that they have to be sure that they're fucking making everything right,
Right.
paying attention to the P's and Q's.
Well, let me share my POTCOIN buying experience.
Okay.
Because I've been listening to people saying that Bitcoin, just like altcoins in general, could be like it could be problematic because it's going back to a bartering system, which like money is better because I don't have to trade you an orange for a sheep. And like we've all played Settlers of Catan. Like if you got 10 gold and I don't need gold, like fuck off. But dollars fixes that kind of. But so I went to the POTCOIN website because you can just buy them straight off of there, off of PayPal, Bitcoin, Venmo. Venmo is actually an interesting one. I'll get back to that. But you just have to trade. Like the buying is literally just someone selling it on their website, and you gotta use the buy. And I didn't end up buying it with like the POTCOIN ledger, because I tried to get it from somebody using PayPal, and then like it was really not a comprehensive website instructions, and I actually didn't know like how I was gonna like contact the dealer, send him my info, like trust this random person on the internet. It actually says on the website like don't like make sure that you're doing a transaction with someone like you actually know.
Right.
So that's probably a problem that they have in their like website.
I just wonder if POTCOIN is going to take off anytime soon. You know, I feel like POTCOIN is going to be one of those coins that in 5 years, when we have, an established government that works and weed is back to being decriminalized and all of that, I think that's when POTCOIN is going to like all of a sudden have this major jump. And then people are just going to be, sitting on thousands of these POTCOINs that they bought way back in the day.
Well,
anything.
Interesting thing, Dennis Rodman got to North Korea.
That's true. I saw that
because of POTCOIN.
How did that?
They literally just any transaction that they were going to do, like I need to pay for a plane ticket or a helicopter ride to North Korea, but you can't use U.S. money because of the all the embargoes, all the sanctions they have on North Korea. So the POTCOIN company sponsored Dennis Rodman, said we will figure out the monetary aspect of all of your trip, and because of that, North Koreans are really good with computers.
Yeah.
They know how to they can figure out a currency.
Why would they do that?
That's what you do when you really fuck over at people for 50 years straight. Is they really figure out how to know a currency. When bread is $6 million.
That's crazy. I've seen POTCOIN advertisements pretty much everywhere, as far as the internet is concerned.
Yeah.
I've just never been, for sure on the tech or anything.
It's really similar. It's off the Litecoin ledger.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like Bitcoin. It operates on a ledger. It's off the Litecoin network. It's peer-to-peer. It's decentralized. So as far as, what you were saying, Clifton, about POTCOIN becoming trusted by the government, it's not exactly
trusted by the dealers too.
Well, by dealers.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest problem is just banks. You think there's a bank in Portland that doesn't want to be associated with a market that's gaining $6 billion next year, just pot sales? Dude, that's
Canada.
Well, California wants to make their own state banking system because of the problem that all the other states are facing about trying to bank. And they want to make a state banking system that's specifically for the marijuana industry.
Sure, yeah.
And
so they don't have to put up
but there's some people up in Washington saying no,
there's
you
a
can't
Keebler
do
elf
that,
in
blah,
Washington
blah, blah.
being well, I never tried it. And it's dude, how? Imagine if my dad's a gynecologist, and imagine if I was let me tell you everything about why your profession's bullshit. I've never birthed a baby. I know nothing about what that's like, what it's like to bank it, the experience. But let me try and tell you what's up. That's exactly how I feel Jeff Sessions is talking about this. So, on the POTCOIN website, there's when you trade, there's different prices that people put it at. All of the Venmo prices were way sky high, and it made me realize people are using POTCOIN at dispensaries right now to buy their stuff, but it seems like the way that they're modeling it, it's trying to become I can't use a credit card, but I can use Venmo, when you go to a pot shop. But for Venmo to do it, it's got to be POTCOIN that Venmo's trading, not dollars. But the Venmo prices when I was on POTCOIN were like $2-3 higher. So that's that $2 or $3. That's that ATM charge at the POTCOIN. So what I saw, I don't know if this is a recommendation or just like what I would do, but if I was gonna try and use POTCOIN to get pot at a dispensary, I would buy it beforehand at my house through the POTCOIN ledger so that you can get it cheaper, and then go there. Like, don't try to do it in store, or the prices are just going to be skyrocketed.
Okay.
Oh, and shout out to Canada, because they're already starting to invest in POTCOIN as an actual currency for like medical marijuana and stuff like that. So Canadians,
POTCOIN seems like a good hold.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it said I have 35 at 38 cents. That's where I bought, and we're already at 37 cents. So I am officially in the red on this race.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The coin I decided to go into is basic attention token. Woo. What was it? 10 to 100 race coin. All right.
It sure is.
Yeah. What did you choose? Like 10 to 100 race coin.
We blew it. That was a lot of joy. I wonder how much of this is going to actually get into the episode.
Me too.
All right, tell us about basic attention
All right. So basic attention.
Break it down, man.
So basic attention token is basically a coin created by Brendan Ike that keeps track of how much you interact with websites. And so he's the kind of guy who is kind of open source, and he worked on Mozilla Firefox. He created JavaScript.
Wait, he created like
the
JavaScript.
Language.
What? Oh, so this
Mr.
guy's
making
getting his
moves.
bank. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only coding I've
So
ever done.
and he's the one working on Brave Browser, and Brave Browser is basically a way to interact with websites. It's a web browser, so think Google Chrome or Firefox. But what it does is it blocks ads and it tracks attention paid to websites. So attention paid to, if you're listening to a certain track on a website, if you're interacting with pictures, if you're reading the text, it keeps track of all that. And the idea is that basic attention tokens are, loaded up in some account, and when you interact with different websites, you pay those websites or those content creators just by interacting with that website. It's a really cool idea.
Is it like Washington Street Journal, like you have to pay a subscription to like access that, or the New York Times, and like you can't gain access to a website or like you have to have
I think that
subscription?
there's a way to create different paywalls in this system too that are pretty cool actually if you're a content creator. Okay. One thing that he talks about is how much the way our current ad system is set up is actually not helpful to the content creators. So content creators are paying people to make ads, and so much money goes into that marketing, and that marketing uses so much of our bandwidth that we actually pay this crazy fee to interact with ads and to use ads. And so to pay people based on your attention is actually a much more direct way to raise revenue and market your product. It's simply just the subscribers, the people who interact with you. Those are the people who pay you directly just by their attention. It's really interesting. Definitely check it out.
That's fucking dope. Yeah, so my race from 10 to 100 is 10 to 100. So my race from 10 to 100, I chose Sia coin, something that I think I used to hold maybe a long time ago, but we're gonna pretend that that's okay for this because I never actually got a hold in it, and it's something I've been interested in for a while. This Sia is from their website. Sia is a decentralized cloud storage platform that uses a blockchain to facilitate payments. So there's a few ways you can interact with Sia. It's a storage site, so you can get very cheap storage space on a decentralized network. So you can interact with it being a host for that. You can sell your storage space to SIA, and you then become part of the storage network. And everything that happens on SIA gets paid out in SIA coins. So if you want to host and have information, you get paid out in SIA coin. But you have to stay online about 95% of the time. You're really required to have that space available for at least 12 weeks, I believe. You're required to have it for 12 weeks, and you have to be online like 95% of the time. You can also, so it gets paid out. Yeah, so everything gets paid out in SIA coin.
You have to be online to do SIA
Yeah,
coin.
yeah, you do.
So
But you can, according to them, they offer storage space for much, much cheaper than anywhere else, like Amazon or anything. There's very low fees because you're backed up by like 12 people. So it stores it in a peer-to-peer style. Big old network.
Big old network. What's your, like, do you like what you think this currency is about to do?
I mean, I think so. I honestly was just looking for low-priced currencies to get because SIA was at 9 cents.
Not nice.
So I got a bunch of it for the race, 111.1111 into infinity. And I think it was 555 Satoshi when I bought it. When I last looked at it, it was dropping a little bit. So off to a great start. But, if I'm going to try to do this race, I mean, I'm interested in seeing the technology along the way, but if I'm trying to pump and dump, I'm going to see a lot of coins.
Pump and dump
a
like
lot
it's
of coins.
A construction site, dude.
Yeah, and it's also great for apps, APIs. I looked into APIs a bit. Basically just app platforms. So there's different bases that you can build technology on. Those are called APIs, and they say that they're good for storage of the back end of that information. It's what they're built for. And I just think it's interesting. You can host or mine. So there's the blockchain going that pays everyone out, and anyone can get that SIA coin. But it really is used in network in a very integrated way that is interesting to me because it's good to see these coins doing something within their own network and that being a very defined thing.
And now it's time for
Tarot coin. So this time on Tarot, we're going to be asking some interesting questions about the very near future of the cryptocurrency world. And that future involves taxation. So the thing is that we are entering this new idea of money, assets, all the likes of the cryptosphere, and there's a general worry of, will this be the centralization that screws with the status quo? A lot of people have a lot of money and they like it that way. When you challenge the higher ups, you never know what's going to happen. So, will taxation build bridges or break dams between the haves and the have-nots? Very, very interesting. We just drew the Queen of Swords, Reina de Espadas, the inverted Queen of Swords. So let me describe this card to everybody. The Queen of Swords sits on an iron throne, clad with cherubs, sparkly wings, all of iron. There's a butterfly engraved into her throne. She sits with her sword in her right hand, denunciating with her left hand. A crown all of gold. In the background, we see smoke everywhere. There is smokestacks, industry coming about. Now, the Queen of Swords is a card of denunciation. This is a card that is authority. This is a card that has an index finger pointed and denunciates. This is also a card of runaway capitalism. All the background, the only thing that you can see in the kingdom of the Queen of Swords is smoke. The fires of industry. So while the Queen of Swords as a card in itself, when it's upright, means industriousness, maybe panic from being a little too materialistic, a little too ambitious, the inverted Queen of Swords means that the captains of industry, the people that are running the show, the people that are using all the resources, are misled. The people that have right now, we're talking the banks, we're talking the fiat fanatics. These people think that they can have a stranglehold on the status quo. They think that they own it, and they think that it's going to be theirs however much money, resources, power, force, brute strength they can throw at a problem. But as we can see, throwing money at something does not fix it. It just makes it more elaborate. Similar to the Queen's beautifully elaborate silver throne. It's ironclad, but it's not ironclad in the will of the people. This card has a lot of isolation in it. And I think part of reading this card as a card inverted means that the isolation that fiat fanatics are trying to give right now to themselves is an isolation that's going to hit them pretty hard in the future. My final thoughts on this is that we're going to see a lot of pushback from the fiat fanatics going into the taxation season. There's going to be a lot of people in the decentralized world, the cryptocurrencies, that are fighting against paying all their taxes, reporting their taxes properly, and there's going to be a huge fight. This isn't going to be any surprise, especially to the American audience, because everything is changing right now with tax codes and laws and all of that. So the future is going to be very hazy, and there's going to be pushback from the fiat fanatics. But do not worry, they're not going to get their cake. They're not going to be able to waltz around and say, this is the way it is, do whatever we say. The way that I'm reading this card, that world is over. That ship is passed. We are in a new reality where everybody needs to be properly heard. And if not, then I guess you'll just have to tune back into Tarot Coin. My bad for being a total grump way earlier when I got here. I came into our space and I was pretty grumpy because Clifton and Phil, you guys had dealing with some bullshit with Bittrex.
Yeah.
Total I bought $10 in POTCOIN, which after our argument realized it was $13, which was stupid on me. I didn't even get this race right.
Yeah.
But these guys were trying to buy $10 worth of any crypto. Couldn't happen.
Yo, it was crazy.
It was so stupid.
I mean, so here's the deal. I remember the email that I think we got around Christmas time that said that Bittrex was changing some of the rules.
Yeah.
And I remember reading it, and I remember looking at that and actually agreeing with some of the changes and being like, okay, no problem. But I forgot about the minimum order thing. So I totally forgot about that. And so $10 is actually not a possible trade on Bittrex.
With most things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to find one. I mean, we all just sat, Phil and I just this morning, right before this, were trying to find stuff to get the race started. Yeah. But it was, I went through 6 or 7 coins. I was trying to find low price coins because I was, racing and trying to get this thing going. But, there was nothing I could just get $10 worth of. So I ended up getting $30 worth of Sia coin. I'm just going to try to keep my percentages straight as I do this thing. It'll be a test of my math skills.
Right.
And the reason I didn't want to do Binance was because on Binance they're just like nothing less than $20 for a trade. So
that's
I didn't even try to go over there. But I remember being able to buy less than that. Maybe Poloniex. I haven't thought about going over to Poloniex, but I remember being able to have like very small holds of things over there. Like 12 lumens when they were less than a cent. Like
That's true. Maybe I should look at Poloniex. I bet you Cryptopia is another one that will let you have small.
Yeah,
holds.
it'll make us get out there.
Cryptopia fees are so high though. Those trades.
Yeah,
It's really hard to move money around
fees.
there.
Well, the reason that I was notably grumpy is yesterday I bought my 35 POTCOIN, and I realize now why it's $13 instead of $10. The way that I did this is I cashed in 2 VertCoin. It was around 6 because I was like, that's the path of least resistance to get to this.
Yeah.
VertCoin traded to Bitcoin on Bittrex, and then I immediately just like snatched some POTCOIN, because nowadays with all the blackouts, you really gotta like, if you can be in the system, you gotta be like, okay, let's make my trades, because I might not get this opportunity in 6 hours, which is a whole different conversation. But I bought $13 of POTCOIN, and it was totally cool, and there was no problem. And then like, what, 15 hours later, it's like they have this new $20 minimum policy, like a really bad club.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Bittrex is just a really bad club.
It's a bad club. It's like Trio downtown. I've actually never been in there.
Yeah.
Anybody in Portland? If you want to trade crypto in Trio, hit us up.
So
This is the POTCOIN episode.
POTCOIN
We are
episode.
POTCOIN episoding.
Yeah.
Woo!
This has been an awesome time.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about Decentraland popping off.
Yeah,
I mean,
go
I
for
just
it.
looked at that shit, and I mean, I got it at like 10 or 11 cents. I think I think 11 cents, but 24 cents right now.
That's
Yay! It's
Is that
exciting.
the mana?
The mana.
Mana should have got
And Nav at that 420. Hey, hey.
Yeah, that's great. My holds are pretty solid. Ripple's doing pretty well. You know, had a quiet week, and then Nav doing great.
Nav is at 420.
That's what I just
420!
said. I just said that.
That explains our episode. We
said
apologize
that.
to our East Coast Puritan listeners. That's just how they do it on the West Coast. This is legal. Unless the
whole
Keebler
coast
elf
now.
is like, the pot will not happen. No. We do impressions here too.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that crypto is taking us all into a place that no one is prepared for. But
Yeah.
I
the
think
internet.
that it's going to be really. I mean, how is the IRS going to monitor this? They're
We're
gonna
gonna find
really
out
want
April
to, but they're
20th.
not gonna have any
Speaking of
control on this.
420th.
And I don't think the
Think
IRS
about
has
how
the
much
infrastructure to even try to keep up.
Think about how much information you've had to give these sites, though. Think about how much information you've had to give the sites that you're trading on.
Oh yeah, that information
everybody
has
knows
already
that.
been out there though.
Exactly. But so they can stick, if they really want to figure out how to like figure out what you did, they could totally
But that's also
get
resources.
the information from the trading sites that you've been on, because you know you've got to provide information.
Right.
But
and
that
they can
costs
see
money.
What
That costs a
money?
lot. Like actually getting that information, you have to pay people to analyze that. A computer can't go through and analyze that and be like,
They
"This
have
is
your
wrong.
whole trading
This is
history.
wrong." They do. I'm just saying, like, in order to actually verify all of that as an IRS, you need to hire IRS individuals, accountants.
They're
going
gonna
to
put that on you.
But the IRS has just de-staffed.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
They've gone down. So you need more people to do more stuff. They went down. So it's
I
like
did hear that, yeah.
It's like it feels like subversion of like they
Yeah.
want the tax system to go haywire. Sounds like a Russian scheme. No.
But honestly, if we got to keep the society moving, maybe cryptocurrency is a great thing to tax and bring society forward by paying taxes for the right things.
Isn't that
But
centralization?
Yeah, right.
I mean, look at what Russia's doing with crypto ruble. Very
Crypto.
similar. I was thinking about that. We were talking about that last time. How Russia takes a 30% bribe basically on anything that
13.
Oh, 13.
It's only 13.
Oh, okay, whatever. Anyways, they take a larger fee if they don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So in America, they'll just tax you on that. Like that's the same thing. There's gonna be a 30% tax on fucking everything.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So any money. So that's the same thing. Like
Right.
we talk about like we talk about they've just centralizing it, making it maybe a little more efficient.
Well, I think the difference between America's model and Russia's model is they're not going to ask you where the money came from in Russia.
True.
And so
that's very true. Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of like really dirty money can start to appear in Russia.
But you don't think that that'll be possible here?
Well, I mean, if you do it here, there are laws
I think it's a
that
perfect
are
way to do it because you just say, "Oh yeah, I invested this much and I just pulled out all this money because I've just played the markets." Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, are they going to make you show
there's
your
more
trade
documentation,
record?
and if there's anything that the
It's
IRS
weird.
is doing for us, it's monitoring who is entering the fiat system with a lot of money and where it's coming from.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what they care about. And so I think that if Russia is going to say, hey, we're going to allow money to enter our system in this cryptocurrency and we're not going to ask questions of where it came from, we'll just charge you more for that, then money will start to appear there that was like, where did this come from? I don't know.
Uranium.
You know, I mean,
lots
that's what I'm saying. They're
arming
gonna,
of like
run the game.
I bet you lots of arming of ISIS.
Yeah.
You know, so many Russians have been like playing both sides of
and
that.
That's
game.
awesome. Oh, think about that because they have the coin. It's controlled by them. And if you want to get your dirty money out, you go there.
You go through there.
You have to turn it into crypto ruble, which jacks the price of crypto ruble, and then they'll pay you out.
Yeah.
But their crypto ruble's going up because they keep absorbing it, and they get part of it.
Yeah. So buy crypto ruble.
Buy crypto.
You should see the look on Phil's face after he said that.
We officially are getting like on a list because we're saying buy crypto.
We're all really
ruble as
scared
Americans.
right now.
Yeah.
This is what a
Why don't you come for
420
us now,
episode
Jeff
is.
None of this is advice.
None of this is advice, Jeff. You know what I advise you, Jeff Sessions? I don't know. That's a terrible Jeff Sessions.
That was
Sorry.
like an impression of the Kate McKinnon Jeff Sessions.
It really was. It really was. I don't think
good.
it was any better than hers, though.
Yeah.
It's really weird to like think about the history of money when you think about like 500, 600 years ago. Like we were still on like gold coins around the necklace, you know, like how many coins do you have? And like you got 3 coins hanging out there and they're all laughing at you. They're like, oh, you're poor, look at it, I got like 16 gold coins on my necklace, so that's how rich I am, you know. Like that was a very short time ago in the history of things, like 500 years.
I mean, that is weird to think about. We're just always trying to show how many of things we have.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
Materialism. That was the last tarot. And correction from tarot from my girlfriend who actually knows how to do tarot. El Loco, the Jester, which was last episode's card, which was inverted, also has a meaning of being deceived by people that do know what they're talking about. So while the Jester is free and lackadaisical, when it's inverted, it means that he might be very lackadaisical and being duped by somebody. So if you're listening and you want to know more about that one, there you have it.
You can follow us on MOONTALK Podcast on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you have an email to send us, moontalkpodcast@gmail.com.
Or as I like to say it, moontalkpodcast@gmail.com. Last time.
Yeah.
Time before.
Yeah.
Happy 420, yo.
Happy 420, everybody. See you next time.